So after 20 years without one being on shelves, LEGO has finally decided to do the TIE Bomber again, giving it set number 75347. The TIE Bomber, ages 9 plus, retails for £60 in the United Kingdom and has 4 minifigures. So this set is also labelled, funny enough, 40 years of Return of the Jedi, because at the time of filming this review, it's the 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi. So this set is a bit confusing to why they call it this. See, you do see the TIE Bomber in Return of the Jedi, I'll give LEGO that, but it's for a brief scene. It's when Darth Vader's shuttle lands in the Death Star's hangar bay at the start of the movie. And that's the thing, they would have given it, maybe the box art at the front would have been the hangar, or had involved the second Death Star, but instead it is the asteroid field from An Empire Strikes Back. And if we flip the box around, you do get the hangar, that is correct. You also do get a little cart with it. It is a very cool set, one of the best ones they've done in a while. I like this more than the 2021 TIE Fighter, and that was a good set. So let's jump straight in onto these minifigures. This is one of the best sets that they have done in a very long time. Let's jump right in, going in order of the box. So one of the more surprising minifigures is Vice Admiral Salon. So when these kind of sets come out, there's a few things they could have included here which I'm happy then. They could have just done the generic Imperial officer. They could have also done that Imperial officer from, the start of Return of the Jedi that Vader gives that kind of speech to. Or they could have even been really lazy and done, Grand Moff Tarkin, right? But I'm happy that they chose a character that LEGO has never done, like something, who knows, they might not do again. So I know that she is also a Grand Admiral at one point in the Star Wars timeline, but they have chosen her Vice Admiral outfit, which is supposed to be accurate to her rank during the era of, timeline, rather, of Return of the Jedi. So there is no dual molded, we have not been getting those. The only time they've dual molded an Imperial officer seems to be when they done the 2019 UCS Star Destroyer. And in those 4 years they've not continued it. There is no arm printing, but it's a pretty cool minifigure nonetheless, to get a different Imperial officer. Now, one thing I will say about the minifigures, it does take away from the repurchasability of this set, but if you're able to sell them, as long as it's the only figures you really don't want models of here is the Vader and Rey Salon. Got a really good looking face. This one's a bit more happy. If we remove this and turn it round, there is no double-sided head on this minifigure. For whatever reason, this character, I thought they would have given him double-sided face. It's not often that we get minifigures without, double printing. Anyway, I really like this minifigure. It's something different, and maybe it's something LEGO revisits again. Maybe they don't. Moving on to the next minifigure, who is also brand new for this set, because he has some different prints. Darth Vader. So I personally don't remember the last time I'd done a set, and actually looking around my room right now, try to figure out last time I'd done a set review that had a Darth Vader in it. I genuinely do not remember. I think the last time I got a Vader in a set would have been the Death Star, but I've not reviewed that, so this is a cool one. Not to mention, it's a version I didn't have, which has the arm printing, which is kind of cool. You can kind of see right there, the printing on Vader's arms is really cool. Yeah, it looks great. It's on this side as well. You can kind of see the shoulder pads. It lines up really nicely with the print here. You can kind of see it coming along. It's got kind of a standard torso print, normal red lightsaber. He has a two-piece helmet, which still has not grown on me. I mean, some people say it looks a bit more accurate. I'm sorry. For me, it's the pre-2015 helmet. We've had this helmet for 8 years now. I wish they would go back to the old one. One thing that is cool, it has a new face. So if we remove his helmet, obviously it's the two-piece helmet, you get a little bit. See, they should only really use this helmet on Return of the Jedi Vaders. At least in my opinion, so you can recreate the scene where Luke removes his helmet. That's fair enough, but I get it's better than having two molds, but I do miss the old Vader helmet mold. He has really cool faces. He has kind of an angry, kind of grumpy kind of face. The best way to put it. Look at his face there. It's a white head, so try to get to pick up proper on camera is a bit difficult. There you go, you get his facial expression. If you turn him on round, you just get kind of scars on the back because he's got a damaged head, obviously. It's a really good looking Vader. I really do like this one, especially with those arm prints, which I'm going to show you up a bit closer. And you do get back printing on this Vader, which that's even cooler. I can't really think of any Vaders that have back printing. And there, so put the helmet back on. Really cool minifigure. Now let's move on to the other two minifigures that are cool, but not as cool as these two we've just shown off. So there's a minifigure that's in at least one set per year, or something like that. It's a TIE fighter pilot. So, or in this case, since it's a TIE bomber, it's a TIE bomber pilot. It's a really cool minifigure. It's a character Lego have done quite a few times before. I'm not too sure if it's a new minifigure or not. One thing I wish they would fix though is this. See, back in 2012, 2013, they had this balaclava piece that they put on the minifigures. It's on all the stormtroopers, scout troopers, snow troopers, all the kind of Imperials. And it looked really good. And, you know, it means you had the face, but you had the all-round kind of black print. And they did away with it, I think around 2014. And that is where this figure, like, yeah, I understand having a face, but when you see these guys, especially unmasked in Star Wars Rebels, they have those battle covers. I mean, yeah, sure, it looks great, but the minute you put the helmet on, and if you turn them around, I'm sorry, this is just something that annoys me a little bit. I wish they'd either use a completely black head or do the balaclava thing. Other than that, it's a really cool TIE pilot. If you don't have one, it's a good way to get one. I personally have quite a few TIE pilots, so nothing special to me, obviously, but it's always nice to get another one for the Imperial Army. So next up here, we have the Gunk Droid. So the Gunk Droid is a new minifigure here. Not a new character, obviously, but I like this one because he has a printed element. So I think it was in the 2020 Mos Eisley Cantina, right? So 3 years ago, they introduced that kind of Imperial crate piece, which has the writing and stuff on the back. Well, that's a print, and they've used that to give this Gunk Droid a different look. I mean, yeah, they've given him a mold and stuff. Or sorry, no, no, they've given him like a print, which is nice. It's not a sticker. It just looks. This is one of the better looking Gunk Droids. I'm to the point now where Lego's releasing them in so many sets. They should really just come up with a mold, because like you realise characters like Dio have a mold, or characters like the black version of BB-8 had molds. Like they went out their way to do stuff for that. It just annoys me that a Gunk Droid who's been around since the original Star Wars movie, so 46 years, they've not done it. Nonetheless, it is nice to get a Gunk Droid, and it looks really good. Especially with an Imperial Mock, there is now an Imperial Gunk Droid. So that's the minifigure selection. It's not a bad minifigure selection. It's one of the really better, good ones I've put in a TIE Fighter in a long while. The only other TIE Fighter I feel comes close to this is the minifigures from the 2012 TIE Fighter, set 9493 I think it is, or 9492. But anyway, let's jump into what you came to see, the TIE Bomber. So this was a set that I was worried I would not have the space to do. That I would have to do it on the floor, because I was getting a lot annoyed having to do just about every review on the floor, but at least with the January 2021 wave so far, I've not had to do 2023 wave. So here we go with the set. It is really good size. It is kind of meant to be scaled with the other TIE Fighter that came out in 2021, which is still on shelves as of the time of recording this. And it will, I would imagine it will be scaled to go with the TIE Interceptor we're getting later this year. It's bundled with the Mandalorian Fang Fighter. So where to start? Well, this set has a lot of positives. There is no stickers on this set. That is the best part. There's none. You know, you would think that all the bits that I thought would be stickers, you know, you'd think that would be a sticker. You would think, oh, piece fell off there. I'll fix that. You would think that these little bits going round, you would think, oh, that would be a sticker detail. And when I saw the images of this set, I was like, this is going to be full of stickers. And after a couple of years, they're going to peel off. But no, it's not got a single sticker. It is a really good set, and it's really well built. You know, apart from that one piece that fell off because I put mine in the wrong place, you can shake this and do that with it, and it will not break. It is very solidly built. So the wings are kind of typical wings that are on hinges. Basically, it's like the best way to compare the way this thing looks with those wings is a modded version. At least the way I always look at it, a modded version of Darth Vader's TIE X1 or TIE Advanced. So let's get into the features of this set. Well, I suppose we should get into the looks first actually. So up the front looks really great. This missile port does not fire or anything, but you do get these two kind of spring-loaded shooters. That's stud shooters. I forgot the name, but it's the new ones. They look really good. I'm happy they didn't use the old ones on this model. If we turn it around, this is one of my favourite angles of the whole set. Just look at the engines on this set. This is one of the really good angles. It looks great from here. Obviously the bottom, maybe not so much because you've got those yellow kind of flick fire missiles, which is something that Lego Star Wars rarely ever uses, if not has not used in years on a set. Oh yeah, these little pieces will frequently fall off. It's the only part of the set that I would deem myself as being weak. So starting up on features, here we have the cockpit. Now you cannot see through it. So this is accurate. Obviously in universe, in the TIE Bomber, the pilot will be able to see outside. Here, he cannot because of the design. We've got this kind of extra rim that goes around the cockpit, which is accurate. And if you lift it up, you will notice there's no window. That's like, literally, I'm going to zoom out here. There's no window. That's kind of like the hinge piece that holds us together. It is alright. It sometimes does stick. Ah, so it works perfectly because I'm reviewing it. So you can take your TIE Bomber. There is some form of controls here. You can kind of see there and there that they've given you something to control this with, which I do like. You know, it's a feature that they don't have to put in. The original one did not. I don't own the original set, but I have seen reviews on it. So you're going to stick your TIE Pilot in there. You know, it goes in there nicely. You know, and that's him ready to fly around in the TIE Bomber. You know, it's really well done. You don't get any weapon storage on this set, which is a shame. Another feature, obviously, is these, so we're going to fire these at the camera. Just try to put... There we go. And I've lost one of them. That is great. I'm actually going to quickly find that. So I was unable to find it, but unfortunately, rather fortunately, sorry, Lego do give you spares, and those can be loaded back into the chamber relatively easily. That, again, it's like, I don't like these missiles that much, but it doesn't have like the giant spring-loaded shooters in it, which I suppose most people would have wanted in here, but it doesn't bother me. So moving on to the bottom, because there's a feature there, it's called an orbital sensor, which when I first saw it until I actually checked what it was, I thought it was a form of landing gear to keep it stable at the back, which it turns out it isn't, which was a bit of a surprise to me because that's the only thing I could have really seen that being used for. So big surprise there. If we come round, just show you that the wings are very layered and look very decent. But there's one feature that you guys are here to see. Now, my one criticism of this feature is the colour. Yes, I like the fact that they brought back quick fire missiles for this set. Yes, I like the fact that it is here and it's not just a bunch of studs dropping at the bottom. But I wish they would have been blue, because if you go back and watch that scene in The Empire Strikes Back, the missiles are blue. It's kind of a blue flash that comes from them. The original set from 2003 had them, so I don't know why this one doesn't, but I'm going to show you the feature for dropping bombs. So, well, those could sometimes come up very easily. So we have 4 things here, right? See them right there. Zoom in. Right, you see those? Right, so there's a hole in the bottom, and what you want to do is you want to put your thumb down, right? And the missiles will drop out. Now the missiles, like I said, have the yellow colouring on them. They look a bit like this. That's basically what you get for a missile. Again, it would have been cool to do them blue, but I see the genius in doing them this colour. It helps you find them easier. And you do get a couple extra ones with the little cart, which we'll move into. And I'll show you guys that once we are done here. Which is good. It's not as bad as some of the carts that Lego have done previously, but you know, with A-wings and X-wings, but it's not too bad. So to reload those, you're going to flip this upside down and you're going to put them in. You've got to put them in one by one. You have to be careful because there's a little extra hole in there. That's just how the piece molds, and you can jam these in super easily, and it can be very annoying. So you have to be rather careful when putting these in, like so. Right. So that's kind of really all the features that this TIE Bomber has. There is no other features, but it's really well detailed, especially when you look at the front, all those like extra little pieces they've added. They've tried to make this a really good model, and I'm really happy with this. It is one of the coolest Lego sets they've done in a long time. I mean, yeah, we had to wait 20 years. I mean, 2003 was the last time they done one. That's the year I was born. So that's kind of crazy that it took this long for Lego to go, do you know what, we need to make another one of these, and because we kept getting the normal TIE Fighter, but the fact that this year we're also getting an Interceptor remake, hopefully within the next year or two we get the TIE Advanced 1, because it seems like Lego is going over the TIE Fighters they did in the early 2000s and bringing them back. So anyway, let's jump into that little maintenance car. So here's the maintenance cart. I like this a lot more than the one they've done for the Rebel ships. I don't know why this one just... I get like the rebels are kind of just, their stuff is kind of just randomly made out of whatever resources they have. I kind of get that. Also, this one looks cleaner, and I like this one. Like, some of the rebel ones, when I did, because I had a few of those sets, I would never display them with their stands, but this one I like enough to do that. You know, it's really well. You know, and if you really wanted to, you could modify this to carry troops. So these are the extra missiles, which again, it's a cool way to store them instead of like having, you know, yeah, they could have put a silly area in the TIE bomber to store these, but I like the fact that they've stored them here. You can take them out like that. And you know what? This kind of system used to hold it. It's got some of these parts on the bottom which look like glides, but also kind of gives it that hover effect, which is nice. So you do get little controls. It's got these cool little lights on the front, and the box depicts Vice Admiral Salon using it, so we're going to give it to that minifigure like so. I'm not going to bother connecting to the control panels, but we'll just put her in there for blaster, and it works quite well. You know, helps service the TIE bomber. I like that they've done these. I don't think they really do stuff like this. Like, none of the TIE fighters that I had a little look, a bit here or there. I looked on Brickset trying to find TIE fighters that had these kind of things. The only one I could find where a TIE fighter came with an extra build was the 2005 one, which had the stand. No, sorry, 2001 TIE fighter that had the stand to go with the TIE fighter. But no, this is pretty cool. Let's jump into the instructions. So, unfortunately, and I think as I pointed out in the 501st set review, these awful instruction manuals are here to stay. They're not going anywhere, which is a big shame if you ask me. I'm not a big fan of them in any way. They're kinda awful, to be completely honest. Just the look, they just don't look right. But it's just these bad renders you get of sets. I mean, there's the barcode. I'm assuming LEGO just want you to download the instructions. That's what they're trying to aim for. But it's an alright instruction booklet, and at the back you do get you get these three. The Tuscanator Brickhead's not here. I have all three of these sets in my possession right now, so the Slave 1 will be going up on Tuesday, so pay attention for that. I still need to acquire the Brickhead. It seems they're keeping the X-Wing and TIE Fighter from, well, 2 years ago. They're going to be staying on shelves because they're still here. You know, they wouldn't put them in the instruction manuals, I don't think, if they were keeping them. And personally, I work in a retail store, so I've seen both these sets still kicking around on shelves. You also got the Obi-Wan Duel and the Hoth AT-ST. And the back of the instructions, like, of course, are the same. So, the supposed question is, should you buy this 100% for £60? It's not bad. Obviously, it's going to cost more than a standard TIE Fighter because you've got more pieces in there. And I like this more than the current standard TIE Fighter. The minifigures are great, especially, you know, giving us... Like, you could have just gave us Imperials, which, I mean, wouldn't have been too bad, but the fact that they went out their way to do some really cool characters in here, you know, throwing a Vader, throwing a Vice Admiral Salon, and also the Gunk Droid and the TIE Pilot are good as well. Does that hurt the repurchasability? Yeah, well, I don't know how many people are going to army build these. I might get a second one at some point without fig. Like, I might intentionally buy one that has no minifigures, because it'll be a lot cheaper than buying another one, you know, sealed in the box with its figures. This really is not a 40th anniversary Return of the Jedi set. I feel like they've just put that logo on there. Like, yeah, you get a slight glimpse. In fact, you can go watch the movie or find a clip online where you do briefly, for about 2 seconds, spot this ship. But obviously, when people see this, it's a return... it's an Empire Strikes Back set. See, I'm thinking like Lego there. But I recommend this set 100%. Really good minifigures, really strong build. I really do like it. And it's probably one of the better things that I have bought from Lego recently. But that said, I've already got a review of the 501st Battle Pack that I done a few days ago. I've got the review of this obviously going up, because you're watching it. And I have a review of the Microfighter Slave 1 coming out in the next couple of days as well, so stay tuned for that, and hopefully by the end of the month I'll have the Brickhead as well. So I'll be doing a wave overview video, which I've never done, so stay tuned for that. Anyway, thank you very much for watching.